Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another What's Up Wednesday. Yes, another week has flown by. I am delighted that you are watching with me tonight. If you're joining us for the first time, howdy. My name is Scott. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Go Small, Live Large, all about the camper van Class B travel experience. We got a fun show for you tonight. And again, if you're new to the program, what you want to do is type new, N-E-W, in caps when you comment, so we can give you a shout out specifically. We got a lot of regulars in here already tonight, so this is just great to see you. We'll give you a shout out here in just a minute. But let me kind of roll through what we're programmed up for tonight. And we got a really hot topic. I get asked this question all the time, and it's about ground clearance on the van. It's probably the number one Achilles heel, in my opinion, on a van that's been turned into a mobile or a motorhome, because the ground clearance usually is pretty terrible. So a customer once, or an audience friend asked me about my experience with my lift. So hence the thumbnail. And if you're looking for that, you will want to stay around. We're going to be there in just a few minutes. Let me show you the program tonight. So we're going to talk about the 3/8 lift status, and would I do it again? That came from an audience friend. That's about 5 minutes after the hour. This is a reason why. It's kind of scary. Start looking around. And here is, we're going to do a van tip on where, my love, are the keys for the van in the van. Yeah. And we've got Libation Live. We got a really nice Wilderness Trail Kentucky whiskey we'll be sharing tonight. And there's a little hint at what's to come. And we have a song of the week for you, which is going to be a classic country western song that I think you will greatly enjoy. But really, it's all about your questions, and this is where this comes up at. This is your chance to ask third year full time in an RV, in a van specifically. So this is your opportunity to get some questions in. And here's some sample topics if you're kind of going like, "What do we want to ask this guy?" And there's some ideas for you. And what I love, what's really most important about this is just building the Go Small, Live Large community. I met many of you in person this last weekend, and I see some familiar names in here. And for you all to be talking amongst yourselves is perfectly fine and encouraged, actually. I'm just sharing some stuff as we go. Also want to remind you, so some change-ups we made starting last week. We now have video time points. So as the couple days or the day after, I put in where in the video certain questions came up, so you can look at that in the video notes YouTube page description down below, and you can fast forward right to those questions. Van tip is being cut out and reposted as a separate video. We are definitely taking your viewer recommendations. We hadn't done that for a while, and there's a special spot on my website, I think I'll show you that in just a second, where you can actually go and ask questions, and we extract them also from this from YouTube comments. That's where those come from. And we have the tip jar. If you want to gently get the jar gently shaken through a super chat, we sure appreciate the money. If you find value, please do that only if you find value in the content. Got some feedback that I was shaking the jar a little too vigorously last week, so we'll be a little quieter on the jar. But if you go to my website, gosmalllivelarge.com, there is the Woo What's Up Wednesday tab at the top, and there's the form you would fill out to get your recommendations in for Libation Live, places, all kinds of things like that. It's pretty well cleared there for you to take a look at. Where am I coming at you from? We got a lot of folks in here. This is so great. I'm coming at you from former hometown, Kankakee, Illinois, small town, and that is the train depot. It's been there since the late 1890s and continues use since. So that train station has seen a lot of trains go by, boys and girls, and that's a cool fountain in front of it. If you're not familiar with Kankakee, it's about an hour due south of Chicago Loop, downtown Chicago, and small town. And the weather's perfect RVing weather in my book. It's low 70s today, and then low 50s at night, which is just perfect. Look at this North America. It's really pretty hot across a lot of the country, even up into Canada. Look at that. If you look at the color gauge to the next or to the left, you can see that. That's pretty incredible. Gas prices. We got some gas prices coming in here on the chat, and this is what it looks like in my area. About 530-ish, 540-ish is kind of the going rate. And then here's Kankakee, some real estate. If you got 30 grand to burn. You can buy kind of a starter house in a not so great neighborhood, or more so in the nicer neighborhoods. They're going for about 130 to $250,000. Still a pretty darn good deal if you're looking for some real estate and you want to live in a small town. All right, let's say hi to some folks. I think that's our next thing we want to do. And yes, let's bring that in. And where are you watching from? I am always curious where folks are coming in at you from. So let's say hi to some regulars here. I'm actually in a Planet Fitness parking lot. I just finished working out. So I'm all, my blood pressure's still going crazy. But hey, we got Rich in the house. First one, Rich. Congratulations, sir. And here's Roger and Jane, and I see you've already said thank you, or well, thank you for that recommendation on your lift. So maybe as some of the questions come in about that, Roger and Jane, if you could help us with that, because you folks went to the same place I did, and you had your van lifted and put on the shocks and struts, which I did not do. So maybe you can help us with understanding what the difference there is. If you can use this as your question format, so 3 stars followed by 3 question marks, helps me find your question more readily, and we don't want to miss your questions, and if we do, we kind of assemble those, and over a period of time we put a video out separately, so you do get answered even if we miss you tonight. Here's how you make sure you don't get missed, and that's by doing a super chat. Down by when you're typing the comments, there's a $sign. If you click that, then you can put in an amount. Every dollar matters. This is not an inexpensive enterprise to run, and I sure do appreciate your help. Let's say hi to a few more folks, and Jane, here, Denise has got a question right out of the gate. So let's talk about this. Denise, let's talk about this in just a minute. Let's kind of get through a few more things here, and we won't, don't let me forget that. So here's Sharon from Ohio saying it was 509 yesterday. Yeah, I just never thought I'd see gas over $5, right? Oh, it's kind of crazy. Here's Ron in the house, Van Liberty. It's on the big screen. How do we look on the big screen? How big is your TV, sir? Hopefully my wrinkles don't show that badly. Here's Justin. He's got last couple of weeks in Tampa before I officially move into my Travato full-time. Congratulations, sir. Really excited for you. You have a life-changing event ahead of you that is pretty exciting. Wow, gas is kind of cheap in Frisco, Texas. I'll take $4.69 any day. Sir, here's Sawani. Great to see you. Great to meet you. That was so great. Gas, yeah, $4.50. Yeah, Phoenix. How hot's it, Phoenix? I saw it was 103 in Amarillo just the other day. Triple digits already. I mean, good Lord. Just a lot of folks in here tonight. We got Maureen. Good to see you. Here's Sherry. Great seeing you this weekend. Kathmandu to say hello already. Stephen from, excuse me, FLL. Still getting my voice from the workout. Oh my God, it was a good one today. There's Matt C. This is so great. Larry's in the house. Larry, don't tell us what your gas price is, please. It'll make us all fall off our chairs. Birmingham, Alabama, home of Storyteller Overland. Yes, that's great. Glad to see you here. Oh, no way, this is great. So, the Coachman Owners Rallies next week are coming up, huh? That's interesting. I'm going to be in Elkhart. I'm going to have to go hit up Nick for some some stuff. Okay, so here's 12-hour travels. I think I owe you a question on the grow with video stuff. And they kind of did. They canceled all the stuff. I was working on the show all day today, so I'm really behind on that. But great to have you in here. Here's the Grateful Ed from St. Augustine. This is great. A lot of fun folks in here. So okay. And if we get a different country, what we like to do is shout that out for putting a flag on the map for next week, which is great. Okay, almost to the topic of the night, so hang in there with us. So YouTube video coming up. Oops, let me hide that, St. Augustine. Okay, so YouTube. So this is a fresh video. It's going to premiere on Sunday, this Sunday. It's at 4:40 p.m. Central Time. Actually, it's at 5:40 Central. Not what I think about it. Typo there. So before the Wendlands go live on their thing at 7 Eastern, we like to do a little bit ahead of them. So that would be 5:40 Central Time. And I'm happy to say this had a happy ending, but it's really good advice. You'll want to see this video. Anything with sewers and toilets, we love showing and talking about those. What else we got for you? Hey, if you're having a good day, give us a thumb up. Sure appreciate that, and that always helps. Hey, I do need your help here. If we got some really great guests coming, and if you can hit me up on my website, gosmalllivelarge.com/woo. Again, use that form, because we want to know what kind of guests you want to hear about. I'm always racking my brain. What do you want to hear from the mouth themselves on how to help us be better RVers? All right. So next week, I'm really excited. We're going to be at Rover Vans in Chicago. He's going to install that ladder on my van, and then live on the show, he's going to install that tire mount. I am so pumped, I can't even tell you. And coming up on June 27, we've got the buy land for an RV deed a lot at a KOA. Trevor, the CS Chief Strategy Officer, going to join us. Storyteller, one of the co-founders, going to join us on July 27. And I had a nice Zoom call with Joel, CEO of Harvest Host, today. September 7, he is committed to that. And I got to tell you, he is a cool cat. I've never met him before, and I was kind of shocked. He is an RVer. He's kind of young, and he's got a fifth wheel, and he's got a truck camper. Really cool dude. So he and I are going to work on some topics. So if there's some things you really want to hear from him as we get closer to that, you'll want to get your questions ready. We're just a huge fan of Harvest Hosts here at Go Small, Live Large. So again, if you're new to the program, camper van, tours, products, tips, that's what we do. And travel guides coming soon, which is, I'm working on those pretty hard. Question and answer, it's all about that. So get those questions coming in. Let's just zoom forward a little bit. I see some super chats coming here. You guys are amazing. Let me just pause. So we got, where is it? Her question. Will kind of make us a nice. So Denise, sorry, I'm just so wound up. Hold on. Not vodka, water. Denise wants to know, did the lift change the gross weight ratings? I don't think so, because it didn't really add a whole lot of weight. I mean, the whole parts thing probably weighed, I don't know, I'm guessing totally 50 pounds maybe. There's some steel plates and some bracketing and some nuts and bolts, and so I don't think it changed the gross weight rating, because it didn't add a lot of weight. Maybe Roger can help me with that for sure, but I don't think so, because it was mostly a height addition, not a weight addition. Now the ladder and tire, that's definitely going to add a little weight, but that's okay. I'm way under. Okay, looking for some questions, and we are off to the start, behind schedule already. So keep your questions coming in. This is really interesting. Treat set. Send me a text and let me know. We might be able to cross paths down here. This would be so awesome. Or over there. So Dan wants to know, how do you find a reputable company to install your lift fan? Oh, that is a beautiful question and a great segue. So let's use Denham's question here to answer that question, because I got a very specific answer for you. So this is our topic of the night. This is what we like to do. And I have to explain what you're looking at here. You're probably like, what the hell? So I visited the Volta team a couple weeks ago. I parked in their lot overnight. That is clearly my van on the left. I have no idea what this thing is I parked next to overnight, but it was the coolest piece of hardware, and I was just envious. Wouldn't it be great if we could turn that into an RV with about 2-foot ground clearance, put a big old Volta battery system in there, and we could have a hayride for about 20 days. That thing was so cool. It was so much fun. So it was a good image for this topic, I thought. So Larry wants to know, you mentioned your 3-inch lift. I know it was about a year ago. Would you do it again? Did it work the way you hoped? And that is a beautiful question. And I'm going to answer your question right away. So it was about a year ago. So it'll be 2 years in October this year for me. Would you do it again? Yes, for sure. And did it work the way you had hoped? Better than expectations, which were pretty high to start with, Larry. So let me kind of give you the scoop on this. Again, I get this question asked all the time, because the van has a very different poise now, a very different stance. So at that time, it cost me $3,000. We did a video on it. That is down below in the show notes. And here's the parts that made it happen. So back to the weight question, that's all you're looking at. So if that even weighs 50 pounds, that would be way too much. I'm guessing. Looks like a surgery getting ready to happen, right? And here they got the vehicle lifted off the frame. You can see the tire there getting done. Here they're installing one of those plates, the new silver piece, right? And that's what it looked like afterwards. And it was dramatically, visually different. It was very visually different. Now, why lift, you might ask? Well, it's kind of obvious, but I took some measurements today. Let me show you this, because we like measuring things around here. So parking stops and curbs we kind of take for granted in our cars, but let me give you some real world examples. So this is a railroad tie that a campground was using to stop people, their tires rolling forward. I had not had the van lift at this point, and what you're going to see is how close this came to my drain pipe outlet, sewer drain. It was, I got it measured, it was a ½ inch. I was a ½ inch from snapping off my sewer because they were using railroad ties, which is not a standard height, right? Zoom forward. As you're running around your the places where you take your vans, examine where you are and what's in the environment around you. What you're looking at here is that drain cover up close. I measured it, and kind of then further away, there was about a 6-inch dip. You're trying to avoid that huge hole, and there's about a 6-inch dip if you hit the drain cover itself. Then I started measuring some of the curbs in the parking lot where I'm at. This one's kind of coming in around 5.5, 6 inches. Maybe somebody knows what the actual standard height for a curb is. This one's coming in around 6 to 7 inches. This one, you can see the pavement's folded a little bit, right? It's coming in, it was almost 8 inches. So if you're coming up on that and your tire hits that and you sink into that soft pavement, you're going to hit, because there was not that much clearance. Another reason, to protect the battery and the RV systems. Wait till you see this. This is juicy. On my Travato, Winnebago Travato, this is one of the bolts that holds the fresh water system. This is where the battery box is on the right arrow, the left arrow showing the sewer outlet. I measured these today. With my lift, the fresh water tank in the steel casing is 9 inches off the ground, but you have a bolt sticking out, so your real clearance is 8 inches. This is the Volta energy system battery box. It was just over 7.5 inches off the ground with the lift. If you have a Volta equipped Travato and your battery box is down below, I would encourage you to go measure literally your battery box. That's the reason why I lifted my van. Number one reason. And I got one more here for you. And now my drain is 11 inches off the ground. So there is no way backing into that railroad tie that I would actually get a problem. So that's kind of why I did the lift. The other reason is to increase driving confidence. What do I mean by that? Well, because of all these obstacles and dips and things and humps and all this stuff, I still see them, I watch for them, but now I just go over them with a much greater degree of confidence because I've lifted the van 3 inches, which doesn't sound like a lot. Maybe Roger, if you can help us and put it in the chat, you probably know for sure what the Volta battery box before your lift was and after. I'm going to say before my lift it was about 5 inches off the ground. I don't know for sure. I didn't measure it, which is crazy, but if you can help me with that, that would be great. Okay, let me keep going. Here's my advice for you. Look at obstacles around. I mean, it's kind of obvious, right? I mean, I don't pull into any campsite now until I kind of pull in, but I don't get settled until I look at the trees above, holes, levelness of the ground, obstacles like this railroad tie. Oh my God, ½ inch from ruining my sewer system. That would have been catastrophic. Really bad. And you want to know, would I do it again? Yes. My first mod in my new van is going to be lifting it. And we did a show with Roger and Jane. It's one of the 49 mods they did to their van. and I would do it again in a heartbeat. And I would encourage you to consider doing your lift with off-highway vans. Why? Because they know what they're doing, and I've had great success with them. I've had no problems with it. It's created no problems. And let me show you some of the images from their website. We got a price on here, so stay tuned. This is their website, offhighwayvan.com. They're located in Salt Lake City. That's where I had mine done. Here's all the parts that go into the kit. They also do the sumo springs and the struts. I think that's what Jane and Roger were talking about. That's the blue thing. I did not do that. They did not have that available when I had mine lifted. They did do sumo springs. And speaking of sumos, so what I did is I put sumos in all 4 points, all 4 tires. They took them all off as part of the lift, and they said you might want to put them back on the back. I think they went on the back. Because it will stable the ride further, and it will increase the back just a little bit, giving the vehicle more balance and ride firmness. I drove around for one day. I came back and said, can you put those sumos on? So I would encourage you to do the sumo for sure. And let's see what else we got here. Oh, the brush guard. Holy cow. I get asked about this all the time. Jane and Roger do this too. And that brush guard, I did not do that through off-highway vans, but it has paid for itself already with one strike of tire tread being kicked up by the car in front of me. So they do that there. And this is what's cool about off-highway vans. What they've done is they perfected the system, they perfected the installation, they perfected the parts, and now they've authorized service installer location, certified OHV installer location. So now you don't have to go to Salt Lake City, but you should, because it's a cool town. But look at all these places, even in Canada, you can go and get your van tricked out. And what I really love about them is they do PROMASTER. You know, everybody's wound up around the axles on Sprinters, and they're kind of getting Sprinter first. These guys are doing Sprinter and PROMASTER. So this is really exciting. Last thing I want to show you is this, I think. Yes, and this is the price. Now, I will tell you, it's gone up since I had mine done. Mine's up almost 2 years ago. So the kit itself is about $1,800, $1,900. Installation is about $3,000. So you're looking at about $5,000 investment, which leads to the question, would I do it again? I would. Why? Because these critical RV systems are so exposed to obstacles, and the Achilles heel of any camper van, Class B RV, van that's been turned into a motorhome is the height. And if you've seen some of my Scott Score videos, even these adventure vans, their lowest point is literally 6 to 7 inches off the ground. You have this huge thing, take me off road, and then you really can't take it off the road. So this is the big thing for you. So hey, if you got something out of that, I sure would appreciate a thumb up. Larry, did we answer your question? Let me just see. Do it again. Yep, worked way exceeded my expectations. I can't tell you what a difference it is. It's just the greatest thing. So thumb up, sure would appreciate that. Let's get some questions going. Let me drink of water. I'm all fired up today. I did back and biceps today. I'm surprised my bicep even fits in my shirt. We worked those boys pretty good today. All right, let's okay, a couple questions here, and I see your super chat, so we'll hit those in just a second. So Himara 2 wants to know, did increasing the height made the coach more unstable in the crosswinds? I haven't noticed any. Maybe Gene and Roger can chime in on that. They're pretty big, sails, right? And since the wind does catch them, nothing like a Class C RV, nothing like Class A for sure. But I haven't noticed anything. The only real notice, greater confidence driving and climbing in the rig. I about fell out the first day trying to get in and out of this thing because it was a much different lift stepping in and out of the van. But crosswinds, I really haven't noticed anything. The only thing I noticed with crosswinds is the gas mileage goes down. It's really a great, it's really awesome. So here's Steve giving us a super chat. Where's my jar? Thank you, Steve, for that. I really appreciate that, sir. You don't know how much that helps. I hear Sumo Springs lift the van 1 inch or standard. That's great on the 2020 models, 0.5 and newer. Thoughts on the free 1 inch lift? Every inch counts. I would do more than that. I would actually spend the money and do more than that. And I think the reason they don't do it at Winnebago or Coachman or anybody else, even Embassy RVs, because they have to roll out of the factory with a certain amount of no touching the specs of some things as per the OEM of the van builder. So, and if you watch the video, the owner of OHV, Off-Highway Vans, we address the warranty thing specifically. So I don't want to get into a big warranty conversation other than my vehicle's so out of warranty it wouldn't matter anyway. But if you're really nervous about that, watch that video, call them up and they can address it. I think it's even on their website if I saw it correctly today. Look at this. Deborah, thank you for my libation cabinet. And for those of you that were with me last weekend at the Embassy RV camp out, we had a great time with the libations, right? Oh my gosh, we had such a great, I appreciate that super chat a tremendous amount. Thank you, Deborah. That does help my libation cabinet quite a bit. This thing just jumps around. Holy cow, Kathmandu saying gas is $10 a gallon in Iceland. Remind me not to go to Iceland anytime soon. That is crazy. And here's Steve with a super chat. Thank you for that, Steve, and I appreciate that. Scott, what do you think of the fridge in the Solis Pocket, considering a pocket for part-time travel? You know, it's a NovaCool. My fridge and freezer is a NovaCool. It's a compact size. What I thought was kind of ridiculous about the fridge is they put on the top row places to put eggs, like put an egg in a shell on these little divvy things. I'm pretty sure those boys would get broken. So that was kind of a, what were they thinking there? I think they could have repurposed that better. But you know, it's a small rig with a small fridge, and but mine's been bulletproof. So I picked up my van in October 2018. My fridge has been off probably less than 30 days in that entire time since October 2018, and it works flawlessly. I keep it happy. I clean it. I defrost it. I don't have open water bottles in there anymore, which made a huge difference. Appreciate the super chat. Great question. I'm excited for your Solis. You got a big decision to make, sir. Solis or Solis Pocket. They're kind of the same, but very different rigs. You know, Solis Pocket doesn't have any hot water and no real bathroom. So, good question. And here's a $5 from Denim. She's the one that says, shake that quietly. So there, it's a soft shake. Thank you, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Huntington, West Virginia. Is that close to the seaboard or toward Kentucky? I'd be curious about that. Larry wants to know, what are your thoughts about the new Starlink? I'm seeing a lot of, well, I'm seeing some YouTubers talk about how awesome it is. The Wendlands, RV Lifestyle, Mike and Jennifer have one. They're working on it. I've heard some people say the download speed's amazing. The upload is not. I need upload for things like this, so I'm running off my Verizon Jetpack, which is in the window. And you have to have clear. You know, the antenna has to be clear to the sky, is my understanding. And what I saw on like a mobile implementation, there's kind of a big old antenna you're gonna need to stick up. So it's new technology. It's got to be headed the right direction, and I'm sure Starlink and Elon is going to coat the earth with all the high-speed stuff because that matters a lot. So it's a good question. I'm not running out to get one right now. There's not doing that right now. So Gene and Roger kind of confirming, he's an engineer, by the way, so if anybody knows, he would, that the lift does not change the gross vehicle weight rating. Here's a Mattress King in North Dakota. I love North Dakota. So Kathmandu says, was the bar between the rear wheels also raised? I think so, because the way they do it, they push the wheels down. Maybe Roger can chime in on that. It's not lifting the body, it's pushing the wheels down further, I think is the best way I can summarize it. So, but if you watch the video, the notes are down below. Once this post to YouTube, and you can get the real scoop, and then visit their website to get the information, or give them a call. That would be my recommendation. So Matt wants to know, how much is it to upgrade to Volta? I have a 2015 Travato. Bad news is you're really can't, because you gotta really rebuild the rig. So it's probably not cost effective. Now you can take your AGM batteries and put lithium batteries in it, and probably put a second alternator on the front. So you'd have, I'm not even sure about that, but you can at least replace your AGM batteries, you know, the lead acid batteries with the with like Battleborn or something like that. So you have some of the benefits of lithium, but I'm pretty sure you cannot go retrofit a Travato. We've been asked this many times. There are some, like a Class C, that can be done. There's an outfit in Holland, well, near Holland, Michigan, that can do that. But the vans are just, they're too small. It's really a factory install. Sorry to disappoint there. Okay, let's see, how are we doing on time? It's 6:30. We are supposed to be doing our tip. Okay, so let me shift gears just a little bit. Keep the questions coming in, please. And where am I here on my thing? So, great questions tonight. Thanks for joining. I really appreciate this. I always get juiced up on Wednesdays. It's like my Friday night. Everybody's working all week. This is kind of my Friday night, so I get all fired up. Yeah, just a reminder, if you're kind of new to the program, we've got stickers. We have 3 to choose from. We're old school. You send in some cash and a self-addressed stamped envelope, and then my partner Kyle's mom, an 82-year-old Vietnamese lady, will send you your stickers. $1 goes to the artist for the stickers, $2 goes to mom, and she is still having fun doing stickers. I need to check to see if we're out. Hey, follow me on Instagram. Daily stuff, well, almost daily on there. Some fun things you'll never see on YouTube. Okay, let's talk about van tip. I love van tips. Some of the best ones have come from you, by the way. So if you have a good van tip, drop it in here, or more importantly, go to my website, gosmalllivelarge.com, and give us your tip. Some of the best tips have come from you, which is so important. All right, 2 tips. Van tip number 1 is around keys, and van tip number 2 is locking the vehicle. All right, here we go. So I'm guessing most of you that are pretty organized have a place to put your keys, probably by the back doors you come into the garage or something like that, side door. But you have a place to put your keys, and it's a huge family fight if somebody did not put the keys back where they belong, right? My question is, do you do that in the van? I can't tell you how annoying it is to lose the keys ever. And then if you can't find them in a van, how annoying that is. Who's got the keys? Where'd you put them? You'd think the smaller the space, the easier that would become to not lose the keys. And that is not the case. Here's my situation. So this is just inside my sliding door. Let me zoom in here for you. Right here. So you see my 2 coats there. And then I got keys on a hook. Zoom in for you one more time. And every time I step into the van, I put the keys on the hook. I know it sounds so ridiculously simple. And I get flustered when I am like grocery shopping, and I come in here and I got all the groceries to put away, and I look at the hook and there's no key. I'm like, where in the hell is the keys? And I start patting my pockets, looking around. Inevitably, it's under some garbage, or not garbage sack, grocery sack that's on my seat or something. I can't tell you, just put the key on the hook every time. And if you make it a family law to do that, it will solve a whole lot of unnecessary discussions and yelling. Let me tell you. So my question to you is, do you have a place to put the keys in the van every time, and a system to put them on the hook and take them off and then put them back on the hook? If not, come up with one, especially if your spouse is involved and everybody agree to it, and you do it. I'll make this really easy for you. Get these command hooks. They're super cool. I'll zoom in here for you so you can read that more easily. They're command hooks, so people know about that. It's sticky tape that comes off, doesn't leave any marks. This is a decorative wire variety. Comes in black or silver. A 2-pack at Target costs you $13. Imagine $13 to stop all the unnecessary arguments on where are the keys. Wouldn't that be nice? Tip number 2 has to do with locking the vehicle. Now, we did this tip, geez, it's probably been 6 months ago, but I thought it was good to remind you of this tip because I still have to do this to this day. And what am I talking about? How many times have you gotten away from the van and then you're like, did I lock the van or not? I've actually had to go back and walk like 3 blocks because I could not remember if I locked the van. So I came up with a system. Super simple, as it always is. Are you ready? So when I get out of the vehicle and I go to lock it, I take my key fob, I turn around, I look at the van, I press the lock button. You might even be able to hear this. There's an audible click. It's a very mechanical click, and the light on the mirror flashes, and I say the word lock at the same time. So I lock it, I'll unlock it. So I lock it and I say locked. So the light flashes, I hear the doors click locked, and I used an audible word, and then my brain knows for sure that the van is locked and is safe, and I can step away. And every time I do that, I never think about, is the van locked? Every time I don't do that, I end up walking back to the van. So if you have not come up with a system to lock your van and know it's locked, then I would recommend a very simple but very effective way to do that. Hopefully enjoyed that van tip. If you did, give me a thumb up. We like thumbs up around here. Fun van tip, right? Wonder if you have something like that. Comment below. Let's look at some more comments, and let's keep this show rolling. How you doing tonight? I'm fired up. Can you tell? I'm always fired up. I had such a great chat with the CEO of Harvest Host, little old me, Scott Watson. With a smallish YouTube channel and a super passionate audience. He's like, I would love to do your show. Thanks for asking. I'm like, dude, thanks for coming on. September, it's a little ways out. He's going to Alaska cruise for most of August, so we had to move him out a little bit. Okay, looking for some questions. Where's my cursor? Right here. Stand by. I see you're all talking amongst yourselves. This is great. Please hold. Terry's in Minnesota. I might actually hit Minneapolis and some of Minnesota as I get out of here, which is next week. So this is my last What's Up Wednesday in Kankakee, maybe ever, because my real estate situation could be coming to a very happy ending on Friday. I may never come back to Kankakee. I don't know, but this is my last What's Up Wednesday from his place. Gas or Vanlife. Gas will solve itself over time, but let's see. So James kind of saying here that the blistings made a big difference in handling. Yeah, what I'm kind of thinking about doing is going to Salt Lake City when I get out of the Midwest in August and go see these guys and have that done to my van. So I would love to get a report. So Steve is saying, I'm not always right. So Steve, it seems crazy, but I've been putting uncooked eggs in those egg holders in the Solis for 2 years. No breakage. Who knew? Even after driving on washboard dirt roads, you must be having eggs made by some pretty powerful chickens. Some of the shells I get, you just barely pick it up and they like crack open. So maybe you're using real fresh, farm fresh eggs. That's so great. So Maureen saying Van City Crump says it takes about 45 minutes to upload his videos and he likes it. That's using Starlink, I guess. I'm sure what you're referring to there, but wow, look at this. A big thank you, Steve. That's going to help my libation library significantly. Thank you, sir. I really do appreciate that. Hope to get to Spokane soon. But yes, thank you for that. I really do appreciate that. This is a good point. So David says Starlink won't work for you, Scott, due to you usually park in the shade, which is absolutely true. The reason for that is because the van becomes a heat sink, and I don't want heat in the van. Can't tell you what a difference that makes. Yeah, so I just move around too much. Even I'm at this campground for the next few days, and I roll out to go to the gym. I roll out to do the show because there's no cellular where I am. So I just, to take an antenna down every time, just one more thing to fuss with. So Mason Mike, hey Van Bro, late to the show. Question: do you know if ACI Vans in Phoenix do lifts on vans and brush guards? Hoping that they do the one-stop shop. I don't know. Hit up Clayton at ACI's. He's the owner. Maybe they show it on their website, and if you're uncertain, I would go to offhighwayvan.com and see if there's an Arizona. I'm pretty sure there was one, but I might be wrong on that. So so check with them because they're in your neighborhood, right? But if they do, then even do kind of a little bit of comparison. It'd be kind of interesting. Or take a trip to Salt Lake City. What a great town. So Michael's saying my van keys are always going to the driver's side cup holder. Yeah, so the point is just to have a system, and it's one of those totally nuisance irritants that create all kinds of frustration and and arguments, completely unnecessary by just something put in the same place every time. So yeah, he's saying, Medlib saying do the same thing. Good job. Okay, a couple more questions, comments here. Looks like, so yeah, I've had this asked a few times. I like a spare key, a set of keys hidden in a box in the hitch. I might look into that. I'm actually thinking about something different for the hitch. I'm trying to find in my travels a truck, like a pickup truck outfitter, that I can use the hitch for brake light and turn signals, because the turn signals are great on this van, but the brake lights, she's got a big old butt out there, right? I mean, she got a huge rear end. And then you got these little tiny brake lights. And I'm just like, somebody's going to run into me because the brake lights are so tiny. So I've been thinking about putting in, you see them on pickup trucks kind of regular, and I'm going to use the hitch. So come up and go up just a little bit, and then there's electrical there. So that's on my to-do list over the next few months. So I would take that over a hidden box for keys. Question here. This is hi Scott. Any way to retrofit professional grade installation 2021 Travato 59GL NFP National Park Foundation Edition walls, ceiling, floors? There is a company called Embassy RV that will take your van apart and put it back together. That would be a big project, sir. I am not doing that to my van because I'm not sure it would ever be the same again, to be quite honest. I don't know of any way of getting that done without literally taking the floor off. It's totally strip the van. And I don't, personally, I wouldn't want Embassy or anybody else stripping my van to put some insulation in and then try and put it all back together, especially with a Volta system in it. Stay out of the shade, have a 3-season van. That would be my recommendation, or buy a van that's really well insulated to start with. That would be my, anybody else have a suggestion here? I love the idea, and Terry and I talked about when they were doing their Project Bear Cub. If you haven't seen that video, he stripped a van that was commercially built by somebody else. It was a train wreck on the inside. I started, peeling all the wood off this van, but she got a brand new Embassy van out of it. But literally everything comes out to put insulation in. I wouldn't. Nope, not for me. Good question, sir. Okay, Libation Live. How are we doing on time? Oh, I'm always late. Let's see, 35 after? We are well past that. Okay, who's ready for a little libation fun, right? So let me zoom in here for you, and I'll tell you a little about this Libation Live, and I'm so excited. I gotta finish my water. Make room for whiskey. Now there's you go. All right, let me zoom in here for you. What you're looking at here is a tasting. Let me get into the story. So this is Wilderness Trail Distillery. It's in a small town in Kentucky called Danville. And what's cool about Danville is it's where the state of Kentucky was born. At that part of Kentucky's history is part of, I think, West Virginia, maybe Virginia, one of the two. And they redid the Constitution, and the travel guide's coming up on this. And the reason I stopped because I saw the distillery sign on the road. I just love how that happens. Let me zoom in here for you. So this outfit puts 216 barrels a day. There's their website, Wilderness Trail Distillery. This is shot as I toured the facility down one of probably, I can't remember how many barrels are held in one building. They have like 10 buildings. It's just stunning. It's just the coolest stuff. This is so the building on the left is where they do the mash. The building on the right is one of the barrel. What's the name for a building that holds the barrels? Some of you will know. That is not the water they're using the whiskey, by the way. It comes from a well. This is what we're having tonight. And for those of you that were at the Embassy RV camp out last weekend with me and a whole bunch of other folks, we'll show some pictures of that in a second. This was kind of a hit. And I thought it was kind of a hit because everybody brought some libation to the table. We had a lot of sampling. It wasn't just all on me this year. So this is all from that weekend, one night, all of us hitting it. And so this is Kentucky Straight rye whiskey, and there you can see the mash bill, if you will. Then they char it. And number 4 char, I didn't even know there was a numbers to a charring. This is how thick the char, the burning of the oak thickness, how much it burns before they let it go out. And number 4 is probably one of the, it's getting pretty burned. Age 6 to 8 years, and it's 100 to 105 proof coming out of this. And let's see what I have for you next. This is the tasting room, and they actually start, I can't remember if they start, it's got to be at the end. I started my tour with the tasting because I was the next class and the only one, so they put me in it. That's the tasting room. Kind of fun, right? Let me zoom in for you. And what I was, and so they give you a little, I can't remember the exact price. It was like $20. It wasn't super expensive for the tour and the tasting. And the tasting was very educational, kind of cool, but I wanted to really go in deeper after the tour. So what you're looking at here is, on the right is, with the green, I'm sorry, on the left with the green labels, that's the rye whiskey. On the right is bourbon. And one thing they're kind of specialized in is single barrel. And what I learned, this was one of the most educational tours ever, I learned that a lot of the barrels are blended together to a certain taste, so it's very consistent. Crown Royal, we're very famous for blending whiskey to have a very consistent taste. Every bottle tastes the same. But what I discovered is single barrel means all the bottling comes from a single barrel. And because of the char and the wood, the temperature, the tastes really vary a lot. So what I did is I wanted to taste 2 ryes and 2 whiskeys side by side, and I cannot tell you what a difference they made. Let me flip one more thing for you here. So I lined them up, and they're actually labeled and numbered, so you know exactly what barrel it came from. It's pretty cool. So what I did is I bought 2 bottles, 1 of each, and again, I couldn't believe the difference. Let's uncork this and give my mouth a break. Cheers, everybody. Let's put a little in there. Cheers. Hope you're having a great day. I'm having a good time on What's Up Wednesday. My first drink of the day, by the way. Oof, so good. Man, there's something. And so this is 51% alcohol by volume, so it's like 103 proof, I think, something like that. So this is bottle 157 of 209. Bottle 157 of 209 from this single barrel of rye whiskey. This was aged 4 years, 8 months. Number 2, volume 4. Barrel ISC number 4 char. Rick house, that's what they're called, rick houses. So it's got the actual rick house it was in, and the yeast strain. These guys are huge into yeast. So I just learned a tremendous amount, and it was a huge hit at the Embassy RV camp out. And what I learned by tasting bottles, single barrel, is I wouldn't buy those. In fact, some of them don't even sell anyplace but the distillery, because it's like limited production, right? And if you get a flight, do a single barrel tasting, and it will drive your taste buds crazy, the difference between them all. So that's what I learned. I had a great time. Let me show you a few more things here about them. And they have really cool bottles. They do some limited shipping. Just hit them up on their website. It's all right there for you to look at. But look at the availability through distributors and good liquor stores. It's a pretty wide distribution, right? Oh, Van Vents. That's next. So it was just, I just love this because, and where this even come from is because traveling around, there's all these tastes I get to enjoy on the road. It's kind of the whole purpose, right? Experimentation and discovery. And that's why I just wanted to share it with you. So if you're in the Kentucky area, it's not very far away. It's I should have the map up. Just look up, Google it, or look it up on your maps program. It's not very far from Louisville. Excuse me. And I would stay for a weekend for sure. So the travel guide I'm putting together is going to be 48 hours in Danville. This is definitely going to be on the tour. So, all right, let's answer a few more questions here, and we are coming up on. Let me tell you about this first. We had so much fun. Oh my gosh. So this was an Embassy RV event. It was not a Go Small Live Large event. We were invited because a lot of these folks learned about Embassy RV through this channel, and to be able to meet the folks is just the most amazing thing. We had so much fun. We had 85 people on the day of event, which was Saturday, which is kind of an all-day thing, and then I think we had like 16 vans camping out overnight. I got another picture. So this was me. I was teaching a class on RV organized. Seems like it went over pretty well. People are like, oh, that was a good idea. Never thought about that. Others were like validating ideas they had thought of, which is cool. There's my van. It was fun to see the contrast between the two types of vehicles. And the trailer in the back, what the heck's that doing on here? That was the owner, well, the Vice President, Terry Minix at Embassy RV. He actually has a towable, and because it's so poorly built, he's actually remodeling it pretty heavily with some funny things. He's a crazy guy. But we had so much fun, and as I was leaving, I just had to share this picture with you. There's Triceratops with his cowboy hat and the wind, the dashboard, and the vans lined up. Again, we just had so much fun. It's an annual thing. If you're looking at an Embassy RV, it's the first weekend in June, and it's a kind of a must-see, put on your calendar. Just so much fun. All right, let's look at how we doing. I'm looking for a few questions here. Travel Dreamer wants to know, what's the R value of your van? Really crummy. Yeah, the Travato that I have is a 2019 Winnebago build-out, and if you look under my cabinet, the kitchen galley, if you look in the storage under my bed, there is no insulation at all. They weren't really into it back then, I guess. They've improved that quite a bit. There is some insulation in the wall up here. There's probably some in the ceiling, but there's none in the doors. It's just hollow. None in the cargo doors in the back, hollow. A lot of the van, like Storyteller Overland, they tuck the wool, was what they use, special wool, in all these places before they put all the panels up. But the real problem is the glass up front, the windows, and the windshield and the side windows. So unless you're going to block off your cab completely, you can insulate the van a lot, but unless you do that, like blocking off the front of the van, your R value is about 0 coming through the glass, especially if you're in the sunlight. If you're in warm temps, and you must keep the sunlight out of the cab. It's like a big greenhouse. So it's terrible. I don't know what it actually is, but it's terrible. Okay, a couple questions here. I love how you guys chat amongst yourselves. So Mason Mike wants to say, hey Scott, you need a third tank, an aging barrel of bourbon on it. Interesting idea, sir. Dear Winnebago. Let's see. Ken Plummer, super sticker. Thank you for doing that. Appreciate that, sir. Ken's been here for a long time. Appreciate that. Thank you very much. Dave wants to know, is that a bottle? Is that a bottle of Keeper? Oh, yes. So this was so he's saying, is this bottle of Keeper? It looks like it'll fit nicely in your cabinet. Great point. When you find containers that fit, keep them. Now we have a special whiskey next week that I will keep it a secret until next week. Next week we're doing our live show from the workshop at Rover Vans. But it's a great point. When you find a bottle that works really well in your RV, keep it and keep reusing it. It's sometimes kind of sad to have to pull the labels off, but it's really a good sized bottle. So thank you for thinking of that. Deborah's saying she spied Sherry's van in the picture. She did. So it's kind of like the old. Ken. Ooh. I'm going to be in Chicago next week. maybe we'll do an impromptu meetup on Madison in Forest Park. There's some great saloons. I think I'll have some libation on Mad Street. Thinking Little Sullivan's. Little Sullivan's is one of my favorites there. And then when you're really needing some cheap beer, what is it? Shortstop. Shortstop. Here's Alfred with a super chat. Thank you for doing that, sir. I appreciate that. Every dollar helps. Mason Mike said he sent one in. Let me look if I didn't miss it. Oh, he already did. Look at that, Mason Mike. Yeah, I'm noticing that with super chats, the chat in StreamYard it bounces really badly. It skips. So my apologies, Mike. No, I have not seen this yet. I've been so busy with the camp out at Embassy last week and worked with them on Friday, or Monday rather, and put a show together today. So no, I've not seen it. I've got a few big things to do this week. I think it's playing here in the Kankakee area now, so I might just sneak off and go do that. I could use a break. And here's something that's kind of interesting. We'll at least do Instagram, but who's seen the Van Gogh immersive experience? Anybody know about that? So what they do is they take Van Gogh and they project. Thank you, Michael, for the moolah, sir. Appreciate that. That helps my keep the party rolling. It's immersive Van Gogh where they project his art on walls and all kinds of things, and it's playing in Chicago. It's been extended, so I'm going on Sunday, and I'm super excited. And it's playing in a bunch of towns. I'm sure if you just Google Van Gogh experience, it'll pop right up. There's a bunch of towns I'm planning to hit, so I've asked to be a influencer, and if they approve me, we will do all kinds of things about it. Van Gogh is one of my favorite artists, and don't know if you know much about him. I've got a couple of movies that are made about him. I downloaded to my iPad, and he was so influential, and the poor guy just didn't have a very happy ending. But I'm really excited. Got a gal friend that's going with me, and super excited. Might have a martini before and after. I don't know. We'll see. Thanks, Mike, for calling that out. I totally missed that, and I don't want to miss those. It just skips. It's very annoying. We got Alfred's, right? Alfred, thank you, sir. Appreciate that. Tiger. And let's see, looking at a couple more here. Okay, so Kathmandu says they have a van tip here. Cool van tip. I learned that Amazon sells a metal basket that's the perfect size for a 6-pack of water. You can screw to a lower cabinet and it will stop them from falling out. Interesting. I'll have to give that a shot. Appreciate that. Okay, let's do the song of the week, and we are just about out of time. This hour just flies by. I am curious, how many of you have seen the PBS program by Ken Burns, Country Music? It's been so instrumental in me figuring out and more so understanding country music, where it came from, kind of where it's going. And this guy was really important. And I looked him up today, and he's got some amazing songs. So let me show you this. He had 20 albums. And the one I want you to listen to for sure is Texas Cookin' by Guy Clark. He died somewhat recently, back in 2016. He had 20 albums to his credit. He helped a lot of folks in the country music industry produce in all kinds of different ways. And some of his most famous songs have been redone many times by other people like Willie Nelson. And if you haven't heard Texas Cookin', it's a real toe tapper. And on Apple Music, they have Guy Clark Essentials, the Essentials Guy Clark playlist. I'm going to listen to it really the last couple days and all day today, putting the show together. And if you haven't listened to some of his stuff lately, LA Dreams, I think is another one that's just fantastic. So if you haven't hit him up on that, please listen to that. All right. So yeah, here's Jane. They have a 2020.5, so it's a mid-year Travato GL. Better insulation, but still not great, but better. Yeah, I'm just shocked. My wheel wells aren't covered by anything. It's pretty crazy when you start thinking about it. So that is, let me just let one more pass, make sure I didn't miss anybody. Alfred, we got your super chat, thank you. Just a huge thanks to each and every one of you for joining. We had a big show tonight and a big crowd tonight. This is just great. Next week's going to be fun. I hope we can pull it off. It's a little bit of an experiment. So we're going to be in Chicago, one of the suburbs, and at the workshop studio of Rover Vans. Peter and I struck up a relationship last year, did a couple of videos with him on a YouTube Live, What's Up Wednesday, and he's kind of, I'm going to beta test for the ladder and the tire holder. We're going to put the ladder on the vehicle prior, and then put the tire rack on during the show live, and take your questions, of course. So with that, we will say thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for another great What's Up Wednesday. I really enjoyed myself. And thank you for all your super chats and your tips. I really do appreciate that. You don't know how much that means to me, and can keep the program going, and how much each one of you mean. Let me just tip up here just a tad. This is going to let me do it. See the card there? Well, both of them for that matter. But we're going to talk about more of that, not next week because we're doing Rover Vans, but the week after. I'm getting some amazing stories, cards, and otherwise from folks because of what this community is doing for each other. And I've got to share this with you. I'm going to get all misty-eyed. So with that, we will raise a toast and say thank you very much. I'm going back to camp. Going back to camp so I can have a little bit more libation live. Thank you very much. We'll see you next Wednesday. Sunday, new video on sewer hose. You don't want to miss that. We love talking about sewer hoses and other things. All right. Until we see you soon, I wish you to journey on, and we will